Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day or night it is. You have reached Geechee Line's Journey YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining us here again. And we'd like to have you check us out through the whole thing. Like, share, subscribe. And we're going to get into, now I guess this will be our third segment of loosely titled, What a Man Should Do to Prepare Themselves to Move to the Philippines or retire to the Philippines, any other foreign country for that matter. So we have our guest again, our host guest, really, Dana Middleton from bestflashfortravel.com, and we're going to get into it today. How are you, Mr. Middleton? We want to bring it over to you.
I'm hot. It's hot down here in Texas, buddy. We got another day over 100 degrees. I think it got to 106 today.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're smoking down here.
First thing smoking. Go ahead.
All right. Well, you know, we were talking a little earlier off camera about some information you found out about Charles Schwab.
Yes.
So, why don't you start by releasing that information?
All right.
And then I got a little bit to say about that too.
Okay, great. I'll tell you what happened. Something just came to me today because one of the key things in preparation for moving to the Philippines, especially if you're talking about retiring over there, is you have to be able to access your money, access pesos, Philippine pesos, and usually that's going to be done by ATM. Well, there's several choices out there. You can use a Philippine bank, such as PNB. You have Wise. I don't know if you heard of that, but there's a account called Wise where you can have an account in, I think, 40 different currencies. I mean, German, French, American, Philippine, you name it. Also, you heard a lot about Navy Federal. Now that's something, again, with that, I'm going to call them just to get the clarification on whether they cover the ATM fees in the foreign country. But I did specifically ask Schwab because I have a Schwab account. I've had it. I think that was the first quote unquote money access account I got. And I specifically asked this person, I'm moving to the Philippines. Is there any charge for me using the ATMs over there? And it took them about 3 or 4 minutes, but they actually came back and told me because the ATM would not be located within the United States, that there does not qualify for reimbursement. So therefore, all this back and forth, the rumor mill that you've been hearing over the past year, more about Charles Schwab. I don't know if they work for Charles Schwab or what. They're probably a nice company. However, for my purposes, I needed to have or wanted to have another outlet in order to get some money. So, therefore, once I got the confirmation that Charles Schwab does not do that, that does not give them any advantage over Wise or PNB, or as far as I know right now, Navy Federal. So I told them as of tomorrow, I will be closing out my Charles Schwab account.
Okay. Thank you very much for doing that research. I'm sure that will be of importance to a number of people who have been kind of misled into thinking that Charles Schwab will reimburse you your transaction fees. And we now know that they will not.
They will not.
Now, I want to address not specifically Charles Schwab, but I do want to address access and money in the Philippines.
All right.
And what I guess this is more specific to guys that are and women who are traveling over there to vacation or to do their exploratory to figure out, is this a place that I would consider in the future to retire? And so under those circumstances, I want to relieve you of the anxiety of running out of money while you're over there. Okay. As long as you're going to an ATM, one of the major banks, like you mentioned, okay, you can go to an ATM and you can draw money, okay? Use if you got Bank of America, use your Bank of America card. If you've got Wells Fargo, use your Wells Fargo debit card. Whatever you got, you can use it, all right? Now, be aware that most of the ATMs will not allow you to draw more than 10,000 pesos at a time. Now, the last time I was there was talk of going up to 20,000 pesos, but the sweet spot seems to be 10,000. And sometimes if you get there on the wrong day, where like shopping days, like we talked about that before, Saturday mornings and Monday mornings and Thursday afternoons, literally some ATM machines will run out of money. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go at a time when nobody else is going, or there's not a big rush to go to your ATM. If you're staying in a hotel, I highly encourage you, do not use an ATM in a hotel. That is because they're going to charge you the transaction fees through the bank, but their hotel is going to charge you a transaction fee also. And traditionally and typically, you're going to look at transaction fees to withdraw from an ATM at approximately about 250 pesos. As of right now, okay, I just looked at it about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. The exchange rate for the US dollar against the peso is 54.55.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the current rate. If you are, I can't tell you about an Android phone, but if you have a iPhone, before you go to the airport or while you're on your way to the airport, if you're not driving, if you're taking Lyft or some other form of transportation where you're not driving, use your Siri and ask, what is the exchange rate between the US dollar and the Filipino peso? Be specific and ask that way. If you ask, what is the exchange rate between the Filipino peso and the US dollar, it won't give you an accurate feedback. So make sure you ask about US dollar versus the Philippine peso.
Right.
Okay. That's going to be pretty critical because you're going to, as I have suggested, if you can get your hands on Philippine pesos before you leave, you can't take any more than 10,000 pesos into the country, and you cannot take any more than 999 US dollars into the country. So be aware of that.
Yeah, that's a good clarification, because for whatever reason, I was thinking you couldn't take no more than 10,000 US dollars.
No. No.
All right, that's a difference.
Yeah.
It's basically 1,000 US, or the equivalent of 1,000 US as vis-a-vis the Philippine peso.
Well, $200 the last time I was over there was 10,000 pesos.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
Remember, my last visit ended on November the 2nd of last year. So you might want to call and check and see if there's been any further allowances or any changes on that.
Yeah. Because I was.
But I wouldn't take 10,000. I wouldn't take 10,000 American
Oh,
dollars
no,
into
maybe
any country.
1,000.
Yeah, maybe 1,000. Okay. And that 1,000 in the Philippines will take you a long way, buddy.
So what I'm saying is it 1,000 US in the equivalent of the Philippine peso.
10,000 Philippine pesos is $200.
And that's all. So you can only take 200 US?
When the last time I flew in, it was 200. It may be different, or as I recall, it may be, and I just said I'm not taking any more than 200 Philippine pesos.
I'll find,
So,
hey, that's a call I'm gonna make.
yeah, do that. Okay. While we're talking about money, and this was on my list of things to talk about today.
Good.
When you go out, okay, you're going to be aware that everything seems to be so inexpensive. Okay, and that is one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because it will cause you to do things like over tip.
Yeah.
Over tip.
Over tip.
That is a huge mistake. Okay. If just to give you an example, if you take a trike ride to a restaurant, okay, and the driver tells you, okay, it's $150, 150 pesos.
Yeah.
You know, of course, he's in his country, so he's not going to say dollars or pesos. He's just going to say 150.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first thing that we're going to think is $150 to ride 6.5 blocks. Okay. But no, he's talking about pesos. And 150 pesos in US dollars is $2.74.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't need to get all hot and bothered and get all upset and create a scene. You know, just know what the exchange rate's basically going to be about. Okay. And once again, that's, as of right now, it's 54.55. Follow, you're going to go over there. Now, I guess this is more relationship involved or related, but if you're going out to eat and you're taking a Filipina with you, or even a Filipino guy, maybe you're the guy at the doorman at the hotel where you're staying has been extremely helpful. And you ask the guy, hey, listen, how many people do you have in your family? And he tells you, oh, me and my wife, and I got a couple of kids. And you might say, well, you know what? I'll take you guys to dinner tomorrow. And then you set that up. Okay. Let them pick where to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. Because what we end up doing is we'll pick a place that they can eat the food, no problem with that, but it's the atmosphere that they're not comfortable in. Okay. So if you're planning to move there, you need to get a feel for, okay, what's it like for a Filipina? What's it like for a Philippine man to live there? Where do they go to eat? Okay. So always kind of give them the opportunity to suggest a good place to eat. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to follow their lead on that. And while I'm thinking about it, you're going to see poverty, and it's going to be in your face sometimes. Okay. You're going to see kids that your heart just goes out and you say, oh man, I need to help these people. An old lady, oh man, I need to help that old lady. Listen, never give more than 5 pesos to a person that looks like they're in distress. Okay, whether it's a little kid, and if it's a group of kids, don't give them anything.
Yeah.
If it's one particular, yeah. But if it's a group of kids, you know, they may be targeting you. There may be an adult somewhere close watching, and they may target you. And the next thing you know, you've given away 100, 200 pesos. So if you're swarmed, just say thank you, no thank you, and keep moving.
Right.
Okay. Learn to, I would also suggest, now this depends on your temperament, learn to say no.
Right.
Okay, because it doesn't offend Filipinos. They're used to hearing people tell them no. Okay. Now, if that's a little too hard for you, because I know we've got some people, you know, we got some people that are internet tough, but when it comes down to the real life situations, you know, they're pretty weak. They don't want to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Then learn to say, learn to say, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's a very good substitute for saying no. You know, just say, no, I don't think so. Okay. And in that way, you don't feel like you're being too abrasive. Now, the flip side of that, the flip side of that is this. Don't say yes if you are not sure. Okay?
Yeah.
If some street vendor wants to offer you a deal on buying something, you know, if you're not comfortable with it, if you're not sure that you want to buy that, just say, don't say yes.
Just say, I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's right.
Yeah.
And they'll respect that. They'll respect that. They'll go to the next. But for sure, as a foreigner, they're going to ask you, okay? And you just need to know, this is a country that the economy it's really surprisingly strong, but for 70% of the people that live there, it's not that strong. Okay. You will see Rolls Royces, you'll see huge mansions, you'll see manicured lawns with 15 people out there working, and the next block over, you know, might be a squatter's area.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to make sure that you realize that people that look like they might be needy, because they don't meet the same standards that we have here for people that look needy. Okay.
Right.
Don't let your emotions outthink your logic.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson that I'm learning. I really learned it within the past year, the past 3 years, the last 5 years. I've definitely been guilty of making stuff that I guess is based on emotion, but I'm battlefield tested now.
Okay, good.
And that goes for these Filipinos and what they may or not be trying to convey, or their response, or what have you. And certainly somebody trying to mess about my money now, when, you know, we talking about retiring on that reduced income, and especially being halfway around the world. So I'll tell you, you gotta be Iron Man tough, and you really, and I hate you gotta be
and
like
after
that, but,
and after a while you get used to it, you know. And the thing about it is, it really doesn't take that long. You know, it's kind of surprising when you first see it, but it doesn't take that long to get used to it. Couple of points I want to make because we've been running out of time lately, and I don't want to run out of time tonight.
You got the timer,
Okay, yeah, I do.
40 minutes.
Guys, remember this, and this is not going to change. With your luggage, okay, 52 pounds equals 23.59 kilograms.
Okay.
Okay. 20 pounds equals 9.7. Why do I use those two? The typical weight of a carry-on bag is 50 pounds.
Yes.
And not a carry-on, but a check-in bag. And a carry-in is 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So remember that. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they weigh it if you carry it on. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, they're still gonna weigh it, but you don't want to be paying extra if you don't have to.
Oh, I've never heard of them weighing a carry-on.
Some airports will. Remember, most of us don't get a direct flight from the United States into Manila or Cebu. Mm-hmm. You're going to stop in Incheon, maybe Hong Kong, Tokyo, Taipei. Mm-hmm. So it's not just your departing mm-hmm. flight from your departing destination, but it's also along the way.
You're connecting. Well, then,
yeah.
We need to identify maybe 10 or less of the most likely airports and maybe get a communication directly from the horse's mouth on those particular institutions.
Oh, no, all you need to do is check with your airline. Okay.
The airline should know that, yeah.
Yeah, the airport just facilitates the planes that are coming in. Okay. So, and I don't know if you've tried to get in contact with anybody at an airport for information ever, but you might as well not even try because it's almost impossible.
Well, like you'll
said, be on hold forever.
Yeah, but like you said, the airport, the airline, they should know that.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And a lot of times, if you go to frequently asked questions on an airline website, they'll tell you there too.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that would be an advisory. Anybody that's flying, you need to go to, especially internationally, you need to go to the frequently asked questions in any event.
Now, another thing. From the information that you've gained so far at this point, I would tell you, you should be pretty sure of what you're going to be taking.
Yeah.
Okay. What you're packing, how many bags, that type of thing. Test, pack your luggage. Do it now.
Yeah, I've already.
Don't do it the night before you go.
Right.
To go
oh
to the
no,
airport.
hell no! It'll be done at least 3 weeks prior. I've already started.
Yeah, get a feel for, if you're over. Okay, I'll give you an example. I generally, in order to make sure that everything is snug, I like stuff snug because I've watched baggage handlers tossing around stuff.
Yeah.
I've had the internal straps that secure your clothing in a bag ripped out because I didn't have enough clothes for it to really hold things snug. So I had a habit of using towels. I would take a towel and I said, well, I'll take one of my towels.
Yeah.
In case, the place that I'm staying doesn't have the towels I like. So I would tell you to that's something that you can do, but I would rather see you, to be in all honesty, I would rather see you have 2 or 3 extra pairs of shorts or 2 or 3 extra polo shirts packed in there to keep everything snug.
Right.
Plus, especially in your carry-on bag, you really want that snug because that's where you're going to have unless you're putting your electronics in your backpack.
Yes, which I would plan to do.
Oh, and incidentally, speaking of electronics, I stumbled across on Amazon right now. They've got some really good deals on universal power converters.
Okay.
What they call 220 step downs to 110.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some very good units for about $39. Some of them that were originally $59, $69 are down to $39 and $29. Okay.
Mhm.
But make sure they have the multiple plugs so that you'll be sure to have the right one for the Philippines, because all of Asia does not use the same plugs.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else did I want to bring up today? I'm thinking.
Yeah. But
You got anything? You got any questions that I can answer?
yeah, but I was saying on electronics, I think I settled on I have two bags that are basically carry-on bag, but I'm gonna look into they should have the 4 wheels where you can just push it. You ain't gotta lift it, you ain't gotta lean it.
Right.
And then I'm gonna weigh them in advance to make sure that none of them are over 50 pounds. And then I've already bought a backpack in which I plan on having 2 laptops, 1 MacBook, and I'm gonna buy a new Windows base laptop, and then make sure, of course, to have the telephone charger, the telephone connector in there, the power bank, and again the converter, as you said that you
now with a laptop. Okay, with a laptop, when you plug it in, okay, most cases it's going to ask you what time zone you're in.
Yeah.
So it has the ability to adjust for time and for circuitry.
Yeah. Right. But all of those I'm figuring will be limited to what's in the backpack. Now, you may also have some individuals that's listening here that may have some medical conditions. Nothing is going to keep them from traveling, but however, they may need to carry a CPAP machine or oxygen machine. Usually they have started to make those a little smaller and easier to carry, but you must also allow for that, having that extra item in your hand. Usually they'll allow you to have that as well as your carry-on and your personal item, which would be a man's purse, a man's bag, women's purse.
Listen, I'm trying to keep an eye on the time, but I'm glad you brought that up about medicine. As I told you, I had a customer or a client who is really concerned about his medication.
Yeah.
And he was concerned that he didn't want to be stopped in a foreign country and carrying illegal drugs into that country, even though they are prescription drugs. So we got a hold of the Bureau of Customs. And the Bureau of Customs says this: as long as you have a prescription for the drugs that you're taking, okay, and it is in a medical container, like the jar that it comes in with your name on it.
Yeah.
You can bring it in. However, you cannot bring in any more than the amount of time for your stay.
Yeah.
So if you're going over for 30 days, you can bring in 30 tablets, actually 30 tablets plus 1.
Okay.
Okay. That's what you should pack, is 30 plus 1, because people forget about that day in transit flying over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've done this before. I've opened up a pill jar over the sink and it popped, 2 or 3 popped out at the same time. and I lost 2 of them going down the sink.
Yeah.
If you end up with a shortage while you're on your stay, Mercury drugs can fill pretty much any prescription that that you need filled.
Yeah.
Okay, and tell your doctor to give you a copy of a written prescription. That way, you can take that to the pharmacist, and you don't have to go to a doctor to then have him to prescribe you a prescription to go to the pharmacist.
Have it in your hand already for 60, 30 days or whatever. Here you go, Mercury, fill this.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's about it for me today. We've been comprehensive. I think this is our 4th.
Well, this is the 3rd one, I think, of this particular series.
Is it the 3rd?
Yeah, okay. Because this series we're doing now is what a person should do after they have decided for preparation. But money is a big thing there to be able to access, to have your money accessible. Like I said, I would recommend, like I said, we know Schwab is not going to do it for you if you're interested in not having those fees reversed. So that's a red herring. But I can tell you that PNB Bank, they offer in the United States, you can get a Philippine peso account as well as a US dollar account, both with PNB. So you can already have your debit card already activated and be able to access Philippine pesos, which that's all you really care about over there. You're not trying to get no US dollars over there. So
the only problem with PNC here in the United States is they're not everywhere.
No, they're not. I mean,
I know you have them up in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm in
here
Chicago.
In Dallas, we don't have them.
Right, I'm in Chicago, and there's a live branch here right on the northwest corner of Chicago. They actually have a Filipino mall there, which I've went to a couple of times. They have a Jollibee up there and Red Ribbon Bakery, and they have Seafood City. It's like a Filipino mall up there, and they have a PNB branch, a remittance branch there. So I've been able to go up there, and I saw a nice young lady named Angeles. This is like Los Angeles or Angeles City. And I enjoyed going up there. It was just like going home, and I let them know that I'm in the process of moving to the Philippines. And, they're always so cheery and very, it's almost worth the drive up there to do that. But in most of the stuff of what you need to do, you can do online. But especially if you are within driving distance or whether you can get to them, that would be a suggestion to you can already have that together.
Right.
With your money, you can already have your WISE account, WISE. So that can have your Philippine peso and then your European currency or South American currency or US currency. You can already have that account with several different currencies. So, I mean, I will say that. And they have the regular ATM fees or whatever. But the thing is about you have maximum flexibility and ease of accessing your money and dealing with that over there with the ATM. Again, go at the right time. You probably go Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning or something like that. You have to learn how to I'm an accountant, so I've been dealing with money for almost all my life. But you should have your basically high school level skills as far as being able to budget and project, having certain money on hand. Also, as you said, you want to lean toward having the smaller bills, the $20, the 20 peso bill, the 50 peso bill, the 100 peso bill. And maybe even it wouldn't hurt you to have some peso coins that go even lower. But that's a big anxiety reliever if you have that money handling acumen together prior to going over there.
Right. Okay.
And I know we in it, but we gonna be back again probably in a few days with another subject. But money is one of the big things that you must deal with. And I want to remind all of you listening, this is Mr. Dana Middleton here, who he's been on this about the 4th or 5th vlog he's been on. He's with bestfaresfortravel.com, and he has Best Fares for Travel Consultancy. Contact Dana Middleton. His email is danamiddle@aol.com. Let me spell it. DANAMIDDLE@aol.com. Go ahead. He'll be glad to receive your personal phone call, text, email. This is what he does. So this is what Geechee Lion is in the process of. We want to show love and support you brothers out there and sisters who may be traveling. And we want you to like this, share, and let other people know that this is going on. We need to get these views up. We all these brothers and people that's going over there is popular. Get this information, be armed with the information. And again, once you made that decision that you want to move there, you want to visit or whatever, it's best to be forewarned and forearmed with information. Money is a big thing. Now, we're going to get into probably the communication aspect later on. We're going to probably get into touch on relationship a little bit. But money is very important. You planning on going somewhere in the next 60, 90 days, go ahead and start contacting these financial institutions and have that together. The other thing is this: you getting ready to retire, you have to deal with when you want to apply for your Social Security, your pension, or whatever, and you want to have your account already set up that you would like your money to be transferred to, whether it be PNB, not PNC, PNB, Philippine National Bank, Navy Federal is popular, and of course you have the other major banks that I don't need to name them, but it is preferable. I'm saying the thing about having that PNB or that WISE is that you can have money transferred in there in US dollar, and they will convert it to Philippine peso. So remember that. So we want to thank Mr. Middleton again. We're going to leave his information here in the link. Best Fares for Travel, Best Fares for Travel Consultancy. All right, Dana Middleton or Dana Middle at AOL.com. Thank you for listening. Any short words you want?
Yeah, the last thing I just want to say is if you use that email, that will bring that right directly to me. And I'm not going to be farming it out to any of my associates. I will handle you personally.
Yes, and I can attest that he will handle your business personally as he's done mine as we go on this journey. And myself, I'm less than 60 days out. So we thank you for listening. We greet you in peace. Bring others to this channel. Check out some of my other vlogs. We greet you in peace. Peace be unto you. Salamat.
Salamat.